Okay, here we are again with yet another DMU. And again, it's a Hornby in the same old Hornby DMU packaging with the box. This one, if you can tell by the diagram, which I'm not expecting you to. So let's have a look. What is it? It's a Scotrail Class 101 2-car DMU. Now, in real life, these were rare, but I just love the livery so much. And I went shopping in Hattons for some track and some ballast, but that's boring. So when I realised that this was reduced, not Hattons, Harburn Hobbies, Leith Walk, Edinburgh, thoroughly recommend it. It's my local model shop, it's very good, and they have their own range of scenic products. So I'll leave a link in the video description. So it was reduced from 91 to 50 pounds. I couldn't resist it. And it's DCC ready, so when I get my digital controller, hopefully soon, we'll be able to put a decoder in it basically. So let's open it up and take out that horrible polystyrene. Oh, here we go. Here's the usual one. Now this says it's a 3-car unit because this Hornby obviously hadn't bothered to update their packaging, their leaflet when they made this. This is definitely a 2-car one. Now the packaging is, these are quite useless. The body removal tells you nothing about removing the body, literally, which is really annoying. So you have your basic stuff, you all know that, and no one reads it anyway. So, shall we reveal what the model looks like? Let's reveal it. Ta-da! Apparently, I've heard everyone ranting about these, so I'm not going to bother because you've heard it before, and I really don't know much about them. So anyway, here we are. It is in, although it says Scotrail Blue, it's SPT Blue. This was a kind of hybrid livery that they applied back in the late 80s, early 90s. It'll be 90s. So the rest of the 101s and 108s got painted in the SPT orange, but a few 101s, and actually it might have only been one, got painted in this really lovely blue livery to commemorate the Glasgow Blue Trains, which were in EMUs. And I don't exactly know the class, but I'll put it again in the video description and a link to someone's video showing them. So anyway, you get some accessories for this. It's exciting. So these are basically ladders that you can put below the guard's door and the driver's door so they can climb down onto the track safely. Obviously it was safe to do so. Now, this is the dummy unit, and as you can see up close, just a lovely livery, really nicely detailed. You can see there's a lot of signs in the windows, and the windows are the actual, where the casing of the windows is, it's like built up. Really nice SPT branding with Strathclyde passenger transport. You can read it below, but you can't on the camera. Moving on to the front end, you have the nice finishing off and handle for the driver, and this is the Scotrail livery because SPT is part of Scotrail, I'm pretty sure. Now this is where it's confusing because I'm not sure, because I always thought that these first generation DMUs were out of Scotland by the time privatisation came and Scotrail took over. But this is the Scotrail symbol, so I'm not sure. Not the British Rail Scotrail. So if anyone knows about that, I would be greatly interested. And you can, right, moving on, you can see there's even private to stop passengers piling in on the driver accidentally. Here we are at the front. Very nice front with the yellow, big buffers, not spring loaded sadly, but then you're not going to be ramming them in because this big massive coupler's in the way. Now I'm not sure how you remove it, so I think it's going to be staying on for a while. But I think it could come in useful because on the Bachmann 158 you can't see how you join them together, and on the Hornby 156 they can only be joined to ones that have those type of couplings, but these you can join to any of them, any one of these. But I really don't like these big couplings, and it's the same at the back. So when you join the two units together, there's a big massive gap, which is annoying. But apart from that, you have another SPT logo at the front. It's number 101, which is the class, because it's class 101, and 695. Overhead live wires, which there would be around Glasgow. Sadly no lights, so these, but Hornby seem to like leave holes where you can put in lights yourself, which could be useful. There's a little Scotrail symbol there, and I've noticed that there's only on both units there's only one windscreen wiper on one side. Now I think that is because that's where the driver sits. So to save money, British Rail have only put a windscreen wiper on where they need to, which is quite cheeky of them, but I guess it makes sense. Inside you can see the seats very clearly. No first class, not surprising given that it ran in Glasgow. If you're from Scotland you might understand that joke. Nice ends with the C1 branding, which I think, please correct me because this is something I don't understand, means that it can go into any station, or does it mean that it's based on, that it's based on Mark 1 stock? Because I've noticed that the 158 and the 156 have C3 branding written on it, and they are based on Mark 3s I think, or the same length. So if anyone knows, please comment. So we have very nice underframe detail. This little pipe added and bits paint highlighted. It's all very nice. Top marks to Hornby for this livery. I mean, even though it was really rare and you probably wouldn't have seen it, it is a really nice livery, and I'm really glad they came out with it, even if it's not prototypical. It's a long word. So we have the SPT branding again, Scotrail, private. Same at the front end with the driver side only windscreen. This time we have the guards compartment in here, so you can see there's two doors where the guard could open up to if he's putting in luggage or something. Now Hornby very cleverly, well not very cleverly, but they've used this compartment to hide the motor in. So this is the drive wheel, and it gets picked up, and there's also pickups on this wheel I think, but I'll need to check for that. But no, the motor runs very nice on this, it's very nicely ran, and it's DCC ready, which is good. But again, these couplings, if Hornby had only put smaller couplings, or if it could be replaced. But again, this is an older model, so, but apart from that, it is very, very nice, a lovely livery. So let's put it on the track.